it's Hannah, and for those of you who don't know, I am something called an expat. If you don't know what an expat is, that's fine. It's basically someone who voluntarily lives in a country other than the one that they were born in. Anyway, I decided to do an expat tag, so I did a bit of Googling and found this tag, who was created by Charlotte Ryan, who is a YouTuber here. And she just listed some questions and answered them in a video, so I have decided to do the same because I am also an expat. Question number 1 is, where were you born / what country did you grow up in? I was born in the south of England and I grew up in England the whole time. I was born in a city called Chichester in West Sussex, and I lived in the south of England until I went to university, and then I moved to Nottingham. What country / countries have you moved to is question number 2. So I've actually lived in 3 countries in my life. I've lived in England, I've lived in France, and I've lived in Germany. In Germany, I've lived in 2 places. I've lived in Freiburg, which is nearish to France. And then I've lived in where I live now, which is Frankfurt. I forgot where I lived, which is awkward. Frankfurt, which is a bit further south. And in France, I lived just outside of Paris, like, well, 45 minutes by train outside of Paris, in a little town called Saint-Quentin-en-Yvelines, and it was great. Question 3, what made you leave your home country? So for when I lived in Freiburg and Saint-Quentin, I was studying abroad, so I only lived in Freiburg for 3 months. Felt a lot longer, in a good way. I very much enjoyed Freiburg, and I'll be going back in a couple of weeks, and I'm super excited. But yes, I lived there for 3 months, and then Saint-Quentin I lived for 4 months in 2011, 2012, that year, and because academic. And the reason that I now live in Frankfurt is because my boyfriend wanted to teach abroad, and I naively thought, I speak German, I'll be able to find a job there, and haven't done as yet. But I'm having a great time now I'm here, because like the weather is glorious and I'm excited about that. Question 4 is, what do you miss most about your home country? And I miss really basic things like the guarantee of being able to understand the person who knocks on your door. Or, I don't know, being able to go into a shop and just be able to casually ask for things. I know I said in my last question that I can speak German, but I'm nowhere near fluent. So it takes me a lot to understand. Like, I understand more than I can speak. So usually I understand the question, I just can't answer the question. I also very much miss family and friends from home, but that's also fine because you get to meet new people when you live abroad, and that's part of the fun and excitement of life. Question 5 is, how often do you visit home? Now, I don't visit home that frequently. I try to go home when I can, and I'm not saying that I can't go home more than I do, but I don't go home that much. I try to go home every few months or so. I either go there or they come here. It's tough because my family, my boyfriend's family don't live anywhere near each other. So usually if we visit England, we visit England separately. So I go and visit my parents, or he will go at a different point and visit his. And then there's Nottingham in the middle, and it's difficult. It's difficult. This is why you should only live in one place, because then all your friends are in one place and it's very convenient. There are some friends who I haven't seen for, well, since I left, and it's really sad. Question 6 is, what's the best thing about living abroad? For me, the best thing about living abroad is getting to meet new people, experience new cultures, experience a different way of life, and just, it's fun. It's really fun. It's a chance for me not to grow up for a few more years, which I'm delighted by, but in all sincerity, it's just a lot of fun. And plus, German food's delicious. I'm just gonna say that. So is French food. Like when I lived in France, that was also great, but German food is severely underrated. There needs to be more German restaurants or food trucks or something around. Question 7 is, what's the worst thing about living abroad? The worst thing for me, I find, living abroad is if something goes wrong, it's really difficult to call people and say, hey, having trouble with this in my house. For example, a few months ago, the hot water pipe burst behind our sink, which is in our bedroom. We have a sink in our bedroom. It's very weird. I don't understand it, but that's fine. And we didn't know what to do. It was 4 in the morning. We didn't have anyone's numbers. I didn't have the German to say help. There's quite a lot of water. Well, I could have done help. There's quite a lot of water coming into the room. But, you know, when you're panicked and stressed and it's 4 in the morning, you don't know who to call. You don't know what to do. Luckily, our landlady lives in the US, so we were able to message her and therefore call her because she was still awake. So time differences help sometimes. And how cool is my mug, by the way? My friend hand painted it for me. You will see it more in an upcoming crafty chat. But yes, the language barrier is definitely a problem for me. And I can speak German, so I don't know. Question 8 is, what food items do you miss most? And I'm not gonna lie, squash is a massive thing that I miss. Not like butternut squash, but in England you can get something called squash, which is a fruit cordial. You mix it with water, you consume it, it's delicious. I would say tea, but my dad has very kindly brought over a ton of tea bags to keep me fueled for, well, forever. Custard creams are my favourite biscuit, so I really miss them. Maltesers, although I did see Maltesers in a shop the other day and did a little dance. Super exciting. And also the other difficult thing, food items for me, is because I'm currently on a diet, and the diet that, well, healthy eating plan, and the healthy eating plan that I'm following is a UK based healthy eating plan because it's one that I followed before I left England last year. All of the foods that they list and all the information online and all of that fun stuff are English brands and English companies, and having to try to convert that into the German equivalent is really hard, and they don't have the range of low-fat foods that they do in the UK, and yet people tend to be slimmer walking around. Interesting. Question 9 is, are there any other countries that you would like to live in? I don't really know. I'm very much a home bird. I get very comfortable at home. I like being close to family. So I'm not saying that I would hate to live in another country. We've contemplated moving to Sweden. It helps that I have a friend in Sweden, but we've contemplated moving to Sweden. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it is a discussion. It's a discussion that has happened. So, question 10 is, do you think you will ever move home for good? And by home, I assume she means your home country. Yes. I very much hope that I get to move back to the UK at some point to raise my family and all of that fun stuff in the future. But although saying that, Britain isn't doing a very good job for itself this year, so I don't know. Like, in theory, yes, I want to raise my family near-ish, well, at least in the same time zone and country as my parents, but Britain isn't doing itself any favours at the moment with the whole Brexit thing, which is going to make it so much harder for people to study and live abroad from Britain. And I feel really sorry for those people who didn't get the chance to do it, who planned to do it. And because it's a really good eye-opening experience, it really broadens your horizons. It's weird now when I go back home. It's only really happened this year because before, when I've gone back home, by home I mean England, it's not been that strange. It kind of felt like that I hadn't been away. And then when I went back in June, and then when I went back last weekend, or whenever I went recently, it's actually felt like that I've been away for a really long time, to the point where you accidentally, or even for the first couple of days, you accidentally bump into someone, you have to try really hard not to apologise in German, or if you want to ask for something in a shop, you have to consciously think, I can just say this in English and that's fine. Which I know sounds really strange if you've never lived outside of your native country, but yeah, it's really weird now to go back and to be like, oh, sorry, and just be able to casually talk to anyone. Small talk. Germans don't do small talk. That's something I miss, small talk. Germans don't do small talk. I like having a chat to shop assistants because I have been a shop assistant. I just like having a chat to people, letting them know that they're doing a good job, letting them know that I'm having a nice day. They don't care. I know they don't care. It's just nice. If you yourself are an expat and you're watching this video, I tag you. I don't know any expats off the top of my head that I can think of. But if you're an expat, I tag you. Actually, no, I do. Cynthia. Crafty Guyver. Craft Guyver? Yes. I tag you. Because you are French and you live in England and you're an expat. Oh, I'm so pleased I remembered that. I popped a link to the video where I found all the questions, and I've also written the questions in the description bar below. If you're interested in doing this tag, let me know. Be sure to leave your link in the comment section because I want to check them out, because I am a nosy Parker and YouTube got rid of video responses. Like years ago they got rid of video responses, but I loved video responses. If you did happen to enjoy this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. I love your support and all of you, and it's great. Feel free to hit subscribe. I post a new craft tutorial usually here in the corner of craft, and then I'm trying to get 2 videos extra out a week for you as well, and my voice is going. Tea. I am on a mission to get to 50,000 subscribers. It was meant to be by the end of 2016. I don't know if that's going to happen, but yes, that is a mission of mine. Links to all of my social media and my Etsy shop can be found in the description box below, so feel free to check that out if you have some spare time on your hands. Thank you very much once again for watching, and I shall see you very soon in Sunday's video. Bye! It's Hannah, and today I'm going to show you how to make this really cute, the wrong way around, don't know if it is now, quaver, musical notes. Da, 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 da.